Great to have you in the podcast. Could you start with a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Jos Vast. I'm from Bakery Academy. I started Bakery Academy in 2009 when I saw there was a huge amount of knowledge leaving the industry, and I wanted to gain more insight on that experience and combine that with some scientific backgrounds. And hence the name Bakery Academy. The academy part is for the connection with the science, and the bakery part is basically with the connection with our hands in the dough. So over the past years, I've gathered a few other consultants to work together with me to service clients in their challenges on product development, process improvement, and some training and education.
Okay, so in that position and in that perspective, do you actually see that life cycle of new innovations is getting shorter?
Well, not per se in the sense of that the total life cycle of an innovation from when it hits the market until it leaves the market is shorter. More the actual time we get to develop a product and bring it to the market is getting shorter.
Okay, so you mean the go-to-market period?
Yeah. So there is actually much more pressure on industry to bring products quicker to market, with the risk, of course, that when the product is not that good, it will also leave quicker the market. So potentially the life cycle, the lifespan of a new product could be shorter indeed.
Okay. Hey, and what are typical challenges when people start to innovate that you encounter in your daily work?
Yeah, so it depends. So if you have more of a startup type of enterprise, you're looking more towards upcycled ingredients, sustainability, potentially vegan or gluten-free or keto-friendly, more in that type of direction. If it's more a sustainable industry, you're looking much more towards shelf life optimization. So either it is longer or the same shelf life with lesser ingredients, or less E numbers in there. So more cleaning up the label. Probably it's not completely cleaned up, but it's slightly more friendly. And we see a huge request at the moment towards crackers. So there's much more going on in cracker, potentially because it's slightly more tasteful and having less calories than a normal biscuit or cookie would have.
Okay, and those are actually more the overarching themes that you see, or because in terms of innovation, you're saying you're working with startups, but you're also working with more remunerated businesses. If you could balance that, how much of that is startups? How much of that is existing business?
Well, I would say the existing industry amongst our clients at this moment is somewhere around 70-80%. And of course, it depends on the type of project we have at hand. If it's more focused on improvement, or it's more focused on development.
Okay. Hey, and can you give us an example of one of your recent exciting new innovations?
Oh, yeah. So I would say there are a few that might be very interesting. So we're actually working now with a startup who is trying to bring sustainable gluten-free products to the market as some kind of bread roll, flatbread type of product, which should still have about 3 to 7 days shelf life out of the refrigerator, which is quite significant because the water activity in most gluten-free products are very high, and especially if you don't want to use any preservatives or other additives to it, it can be a quite challenging product to still have then also a reasonable tasting product. So that's one, and another example could be that we're actually working on trying to replace ammonium bicarbonate in many bakery products, on one hand, because it's focusing on reducing acrylamide formation in especially biscuits and cookies, which probably will be over the next year a quite heavy topic, as well as reducing nitrogen emissions, which is especially in the Netherlands, but also outside the Netherlands, is heavily debated due to the environment.
Sounds pretty exciting projects. And so, how does that that work in when you develop a product like that and your search for ingredients? You must be on top of all the ingredients that are available.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all the ingredients, but of course we try to keep up as much as possible, and we try to find also the common ground. So we're also looking at what would be the technical opportunity for this product compared to another product, and how can we apply that if it's, for example, used now in the meat industry. How could we apply that in baking, or if it's used in fillings for a fruit filling, for example, how can we apply that into a cake or a cream? So it's looking at functionality across different processes and products.
If there's one advice you could give the people, what would that be?
Focus on functionality you're aiming for, and not adding just ingredients because people say you should add them. Just first define what functionality I need in my product, and then search for what could fulfill that need. And perhaps you can find some unthought of benefits.
It sounds like you have a pretty nice and exciting job, Jos.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like you're operating on the borderline of innovation and capabilities of ingredients and processes.
Yeah.
If I can reflect on what we on the Want to Taste platform see is we see actually that there is increasing interest in getting samples and testing a lot. So we see that the basket size of testing ingredients is increasing over the time. We also see, and I think that is pretty similar as you saw in the overarching themes, is the health and sustainable products. So clean label is something that comes back a lot of time in requests from our customers as well. So I think in a sense it's great to hear your opinion and to get your insights, and we look forward to working together even more in the future.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.